Every morning you wake up and tell yourself that today will be different. You scroll through success stories, watch motivational videos, maybe even write down your goals again. But deep inside, there's that familiar whisper of doubt creeping in. The same voice that convinces you to wait a little longer, to gather more information, to be more realistic about what's actually possible for someone like you. You're tired of living in the gap between what you dream about and what you actually believe is within your reach. You've become an expert at hoping while simultaneously preparing for disappointment. You've mastered the art of wanting something desperately while unconsciously sabotaging your own efforts because a part of you doesn't truly believe you deserve it or that it's possible. But what if I told you that the very force you've been treating as optional is actually the master key to everything you desire? What if faith isn't just some spiritual concept, but the most practical and powerful creative tool available to human consciousness? Today, you're going to discover how to stop being someone who hopes and start becoming someone who knows. You're going to learn how to transform from a person who waits for proof before believing into someone who believes so powerfully that reality has no choice but to conform to your conviction. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about understanding the scientific and spiritual law that governs all creation. Your faith is the invisible architect of your visible world. Every single thing you see around you existed first in someone's unwavering belief before it became physical reality. The problem isn't that you lack faith. The problem is that you've been unconsciously placing your faith in the wrong things. You've been believing in limitation, scarcity, and failure with the same intensity that successful people believe in abundance, possibility, and victory. Right now, in this moment, you're standing at the threshold of a complete identity transformation. You're about to stop being someone who is shaped by circumstances and start becoming someone who shapes circumstances. You're about to discover that you are not a victim of life, but a co-creator with the infinite intelligence that governs this universe. If you're ready to stop playing small and start claiming your rightful place as the architect of your own destiny, then make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Because what you're about to learn will fundamentally change how you think, feel, and act in every area of your life. The person you are when this video ends will not be the same person who started watching it. Number 1. What creative faith really is. Right now, as you sit there listening to these words, there's an invisible force working within you. It's been operating every single day of your life, shaping your reality with relentless precision. Most people live their entire lives without ever recognizing this force, never understanding that they possess the most powerful creative tool in the universe. You've felt its effects when you've worried yourself into sickness. You've experienced its power when you've convinced yourself you weren't good enough for that promotion, that relationship, that dream. You've witnessed its cruel efficiency when you've believed so deeply in your limitations that they became your prison bars. This force is faith, not the passive Sunday morning variety that most people mistake for genuine belief. I'm talking about creative faith, the kind that moves mountains, builds empires, and transforms ordinary human beings into extraordinary forces of nature. Creative faith is not a religious concept reserved for the devout. It is a psychological and spiritual law as reliable as gravity. It operates whether you believe in it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you use it constructively or destructively. Right now, your faith is creating your tomorrow. The question is not whether you have faith. The question is, what are you having faith in? Most people have incredible faith in their fears. They believe with absolute conviction that they will fail, that they're not smart enough, that success is for other people. And their lives perfectly reflect these beliefs. Their faith in limitation creates a reality of limitation with mathematical precision. But here's what the ancient scriptures understood and what modern psychology has confirmed. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This isn't mystical poetry. This is the blueprint of creation itself. Everything that exists in your physical world first existed in someone's unwavering belief. The Wright brothers didn't see airplanes in the sky before they built one. They saw it in their minds with such clarity, such conviction, that their faith literally pulled that reality into existence. Ford didn't see an automobile assembly line before he created it. He believed it into being through the sheer force of his conviction. Your mind is not a passive observer of reality. It is the active creator of your experience. Every dominant thought that you mix with emotion and sustain with faith becomes your life. This is not theory. This is the fundamental law governing human experience. Think about a time when you believed something so deeply that it frightened you. Maybe you believed you would embarrass yourself in front of a group. Maybe you believed someone would reject you. Notice how that belief shaped your behavior, your energy, your very presence. Notice how the world seemed to conspire to prove your belief correct. That's creative faith at work. You created evidence for your belief because that's what faith does. It doesn't wait for proof, it creates proof. Now imagine redirecting that same creative power toward what you want instead of what you fear. Imagine believing in your success with the same intensity that you once believed in your failure. Imagine having faith in your worthiness with the same conviction you once had in your inadequacy. This is the shift that separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. Those who achieve extraordinary things don't have different circumstances. They have different beliefs about what's possible. They have faith in abundance where others have faith in scarcity. They have faith in their power where others have faith in their powerlessness. Your creative faith is working right now. As you hear these words, it's either strengthening your belief in your potential or reinforcing your doubt in your abilities. It's either opening doorways in your mind or closing them. It's either expanding your sense of what's possible or contracting it. The choice is yours. You can continue having faith in your limitations, and your life will remain limited. Or you can begin having faith in your possibilities and watch as the universe bends to accommodate your new belief. Your faith is not waiting for permission. It's not waiting for the right moment. It's creating your reality right now, in this very instant. The question is no longer what faith can do. The question is, what will you choose to have faith in? Number 2, the difference between real faith and passive hope. You tell yourself you have faith, but do you really? Or have you been living in the shadowland of hope, that fragile cousin of true belief that crumbles at the first sign of resistance? Most people confuse hope with faith, and this confusion keeps them trapped in a cycle of disappointment and mediocrity. They hope for better days while secretly expecting the worst. They hope for success while preparing for failure. They hope for love while believing they're unworthy of it. Hope says maybe. Faith says it is already done. Hope looks at the mountain and wishes it could be moved. Faith sees the mountain already moved and works with that certainty. Hope waits for evidence before believing. Faith believes first and then sees the evidence appear. When you hope, you're essentially saying that your desired outcome is possible but unlikely. You're hedging your bets, keeping one foot in belief and the other in doubt. This divided mind creates a divided life. You attract what you are, not what you want, and if you are uncertain, you will attract uncertain results. Real faith is not an emotion that comes and goes with your circumstances. It's not dependent on how you feel in the morning or what challenges appeared yesterday. Real faith is a settled knowing, an unshakable inner certainty that exists independent of external conditions. Picture a woman who discovers she's pregnant. She doesn't hope she's pregnant. She doesn't maybe think she might be carrying a child. She knows with absolute certainty that life is growing within her, even though she cannot see it yet. That's the quality of knowing I'm talking about. That's real faith. When Jesus spoke of faith the size of a mustard seed moving mountains, he wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was describing a psychological and spiritual truth. A tiny seed of absolute conviction contains more power than a mountain of wishful thinking. The mustard seed doesn't doubt its destiny. It doesn't hope it might become a tree someday. It grows with the certainty that its future is already encoded in its very essence. It acts on that faith by sending roots into the dark earth and pushing toward the light, long before there's any visible evidence of the tree it will become. This is how real faith operates in human consciousness. It acts on the certainty of unseen outcomes. It moves forward when logic says to wait. It persists when circumstances suggest surrender. But here's where most people stumble. They want the feeling of certainty before they act. They want to see the path before they take the step. They want guarantees before they commit. This is hope pretending to be faith. True faith acts first and feels certain later. It commits before it's comfortable. It moves before it's ready. It says yes to the vision before the plan is clear. Think about every major decision you've ever made that led to growth: getting married, starting a business, moving to a new city, having children. In every case, you had to act on faith, not certainty. You had to believe in an outcome you couldn't guarantee. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the absence of fear or doubt. It's the decision to act in faith despite the presence of fear and doubt. Faith doesn't eliminate uncertainty. It moves forward through uncertainty. Hope says, "I wish I could." Faith says, "I will." Hope asks, "What if it doesn't work?" Faith asks, "What if it does work magnificently?" Hope focuses on the obstacles. Faith focuses on the outcome. Hope is passive, waiting for something to change. Faith is active, becoming the change it seeks. Hope prays for better circumstances. Faith creates better circumstances. When you operate from hope, you're essentially a beggar in the universe, asking for scraps and grateful for whatever you receive. When you operate from faith, you're a co-creator with the infinite intelligence, claiming your rightful inheritance and expecting abundance as your natural state. Stop hoping your life will get better. Start knowing it already is better. Stop hoping people will believe in you. Start believing in yourself so powerfully that your conviction becomes contagious. Stop hoping for opportunities. Start seeing yourself as the opportunity the world has been waiting for. The shift from hope to faith is not just a change in thinking. It's a complete transformation of identity. You stop being someone who wishes and become someone who knows. You stop being someone who waits and become someone who creates. Your life is too precious to waste on the weak foundation of hope. Build it on the unshakable bedrock of faith and watch as reality rearranges itself to match your inner conviction. Number 3, how the mind shapes reality through faith. Your mind is not a camera recording reality. It is a projector creating it. Every morning when you wake up, you don't encounter the world as it is. You encounter the world as you believe it to be. Your mind takes the raw material of existence and shapes it according to the dominant patterns of thought you've been feeding it. Most people don't realize they're walking around in a reality of their own making, wondering why their lives feel so familiar, so predictable, so limited. Think of your mind as a garden, not the tidy, manicured kind you see in magazines, but a real garden where everything depends on what you plant and tend. If you don't consciously choose what to grow, weeds will take over by default. Fear, doubt, and limitation are the weeds of consciousness. They require no effort to cultivate. They grow wild when left unattended. But faith, like the most beautiful flowers, must be planted intentionally. It must be watered with attention, nourished with repetition, and protected from the harsh elements of negative thinking. Most people wonder why their lives bear the bitter fruit of disappointment when they've been planting seeds of doubt every single day. Here's what most people don't understand about the mind. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you worry about something that hasn't happened, your body responds as if it's already happening. Your heart races, your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow. Your mind has created a reality of fear, and your body lives in that reality. But the same principle works in reverse. When you imagine your success with enough clarity and emotion, when you see yourself living the life you desire with enough conviction, your mind begins to accept that reality as true. Your body relaxes into confidence. Your energy shifts to attraction. Your actions align with achievement. The mind transforms into physical reality any dominant thought that is mixed with emotion and sustained with faith. Notice the 3 elements. Thought alone is powerless. Emotion alone is chaotic. Faith alone is passive. But when you combine a clear thought with genuine emotion and unwavering faith, you create a force of creation that reshapes everything it touches. Consider the entrepreneur who sees her business succeeding before she has a single customer. She doesn't hope her company will work. She knows it will work. She sees it so clearly in her mind that she can describe the office, the team, the impact they'll make. This isn't fantasy. This is mental blueprinting. She's creating the mold into which reality will pour itself. Or think about the artist who believes in his vision so completely that he continues painting through years of rejection. While others see failure, he sees progress. While others see setbacks, he sees preparation. His faith in his work is so strong that it literally pulls the recognition into existence. The gallery owners, the collectors, the critics eventually see what he's been seeing all along. This is not positive thinking. This is not visualization. This is the fundamental law of mental creation in action. Your repeated thoughts become your beliefs. Your beliefs drive your actions. Your actions shape your circumstances. Your circumstances reflect your thoughts. The circle is complete. But here's where most people break the circle. They think positive thoughts for a few minutes, then spend the rest of the day thinking negative thoughts. They visualize success in the morning, then worry about failure all afternoon. They plant flowers and then pour poison on them. The mind doesn't respond to occasional positive thoughts any more than a garden responds to occasional watering. It responds to consistent, dominant patterns of thought. What you think about most becomes your life. What you believe most deeply becomes your reality. Look at your life right now. Your relationships, your health, your finances, your career, they are all perfect reflections of your dominant mental patterns. If you want to change your life, you must change your mind. If you want to change your mind, you must change what you feed it. Every thought you think is either building the life you want or destroying it. Every mental image you entertain is either pulling you toward your dreams or pushing you away from them. Every belief you hold is either empowering you or limiting you. The question is not whether your mind has power. The question is how you will choose to use that power. Will you use it to create a reality of fear, lack, and limitation? Or will you use it to create a reality of love, abundance, and infinite possibility? Your mind is the most sophisticated creation machine in the universe. It's time you learned how to operate it with intention, precision, and faith. Your future depends on what you choose to plant in the garden of your consciousness today. Number 4, the enemies of faith. There are forces working against your faith right now. They don't wear uniforms or carry weapons, but they are more dangerous than any army. They slip into your consciousness like thieves in the night, stealing your dreams while you sleep, weakening your resolve while you're not paying attention. The first and deadliest enemy is fear. Fear is not just an emotion. It's a complete worldview, a lens through which everything appears threatening. Fear whispers that you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. It shows you all the ways you could fail while hiding all the ways you could succeed. Fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. At least failure teaches. Fear prevents you from even trying. It convinces you that safety lies in smallness, that security comes from settling, that wisdom means accepting less than you desire. But here's what fear doesn't want you to know. It's not trying to protect you. It's trying to control you. It's not warning you of real danger. It's creating imaginary obstacles to keep you trapped in familiar misery rather than risking unfamiliar greatness. Every person who has ever achieved anything significant has had to face down this enemy. They didn't conquer fear by becoming fearless. They conquered fear by acting in spite of it. They felt the fear and moved forward anyway. They discovered that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is faith in action despite the presence of fear. The second enemy is doubt. If fear is the loud voice that screams warnings, doubt is the quiet voice that whispers questions. Maybe you're not as talented as you think. Maybe this is too good to be true. Maybe you should wait a little longer, gather more information, be more realistic. Doubt is insidious because it masquerades as wisdom. It pretends to be looking out for your best interests. It calls itself practical, reasonable, mature. But doubt is just fear wearing a business suit. It's the enemy of progress dressed up as the voice of reason. Remember the story of Peter walking on water. As long as he kept his eyes on his destination, he defied the laws of physics. But the moment he looked at the waves, the moment he doubted what was happening, he began to sink. Doubt doesn't gradually weaken faith. It destroys it instantly. The third enemy is procrastination. This is the silent killer, the slow poison that destroys dreams one day at a time. Procrastination convinces you that someday is a real date on the calendar. It whispers that you'll be more ready tomorrow, more prepared next week, more confident next year. But tomorrow never comes for the procrastinator. There's always another reason to wait, another excuse to delay, another justification for inaction. While you're waiting for the perfect moment, life is passing you by. While you're preparing to begin, others are finishing what you haven't even started. Procrastination is not a time management problem, it's a faith problem. When you truly believe in your ability to succeed, when you have complete faith in your vision, you don't wait, you act, you begin. You take the first step without knowing where the second step will be. The fourth enemy is your environment. You become who you spend time with. You absorb the beliefs of those around you. You start to sound like the people you listen to, think like the people you associate with, and dream like the people you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by people who settle for mediocrity, mediocrity will seem normal to you. If you're surrounded by people who make excuses, you'll find yourself making excuses. If you're surrounded by people who believe success is for other people, you'll start believing success is for other people. The scripture warns that bad company corrupts good character. This isn't moral judgment. This is psychological fact. Your mind is constantly being programmed by the conversations you hear, the attitudes you witness, the beliefs you encounter. If those influences are negative, your faith will be slowly drained away. You must protect your mental environment as carefully as you protect your physical health. You must choose your associations as deliberately as you choose your food. You must guard your ears as vigilantly as you guard your home. This doesn't mean you abandon everyone who doesn't share your vision. It means you limit your exposure to those who would poison your faith. It means you seek out those who inspire your greatness rather than those who enable your mediocrity. These enemies of faith work together. Fear makes you doubt yourself. Doubt makes you procrastinate. Procrastination gives the negative voices in your environment more time to influence you. Before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of diminished expectations and diminished results. But here's the beautiful truth. These enemies only have the power you give them. Fear cannot force you to stop. Doubt cannot compel you to quit. Procrastination cannot make you wait. Negative people cannot control your thinking. You have the power to face these enemies and defeat them. You have the power to feel fear and act anyway. You have the power to hear doubt and believe anyway. You have the power to face delay and begin anyway. You have the power to encounter negativity and stay positive anyway. Your faith is stronger than your enemies, but only if you recognize them for what they are and refuse to let them win. Number 5, how to reprogram your mind for faith. Your mind has been programmed for years with messages of limitation, fear, and impossibility. Every discouraging word, every failure, every disappointment has left its mark on your subconscious. But here's what most people don't realize. You are not stuck with this programming. You have the power to rewrite the code of your consciousness. The mind is like a computer. It operates according to the software that's been installed. Most people are running outdated programs written by other people. Fear-based programs, lack-based programs, limitation-based programs. These programs run automatically in the background, shaping decisions, filtering perceptions, and creating results that match their programming. But just as you can install new software on a computer, you can install new beliefs in your mind. The process requires the same elements that created the old programming: repetition, emotion, and consistency. The first tool for reprogramming is affirmation, but not the weak robotic repetitions most people attempt. I'm talking about powerful emotional declarations that you speak with conviction and feeling. When you affirm something, you're not trying to convince the universe, you're convincing yourself. The scripture says, faith comes by hearing. Your subconscious mind responds to what it hears repeatedly. If it hears you speak words of fear and doubt, it accepts those as truth. If it hears you speak words of faith and possibility, it accepts those as truth instead. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you review your fears, speak words of faith into your mind. I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. I am deserving of abundance and success. Opportunities are attracted to me naturally. My future is bright and unlimited. Don't just say these words, feel them. See yourself living them. Let them resonate in your chest, vibrate in your bones, echo in your soul. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. Facts tell, but feelings sell. Your mind will not accept new programming without emotional conviction. But reprogramming requires more than positive input. It requires protecting your mind from negative input. You must become a guardian of your mental gates. You must filter what you allow into your consciousness as carefully as you filter what you allow into your home. Stop consuming media that feeds your fears. Stop reading news that convinces you the world is dangerous. Stop watching shows that glorify failure and dysfunction. Stop listening to music that celebrates victimhood and hopelessness. Every piece of information you consume is either strengthening your faith or weakening it. Instead, feed your mind a steady diet of success stories, inspiring biographies, and uplifting content. Read about people who overcame greater obstacles than you face. Listen to those who achieved bigger dreams than you dare to dream. Watch those who transformed their lives from worse starting points than yours. Your mind is constantly looking for evidence to support its existing beliefs. If you believe life is hard, you'll notice everything that proves life is hard. If you believe success is rare, you'll focus on examples of failure. But if you deliberately expose yourself to examples of triumph, achievement, and possibility, your mind will start noticing evidence that supports these new beliefs instead. The third element of reprogramming is self-reflection. You must become aware of your current mental patterns before you can change them. Throughout the day, ask yourself powerful questions. What am I believing about myself right now? Are these thoughts moving me toward my goals or away from them? If I believed the opposite of this limiting thought, how would my life change? Most people live their entire lives on mental autopilot, never questioning the thoughts that automatically arise in their minds. They accept whatever their conditioning produces without ever asking whether these thoughts serve them or limit them. But you have the power to become the director of your own mental movie instead of just an actor reading someone else's script. You can choose which thoughts to entertain and which thoughts to dismiss. You can choose which beliefs to strengthen and which beliefs to abandon. When you catch yourself thinking a thought that doesn't serve you, don't fight it. Don't resist it. Simply replace it. If you think I'm not smart enough for this opportunity, immediately replace it with, I have everything I need to succeed at this opportunity. If you think this never works for people like me, immediately replace it with, I am exactly the kind of person this works for. Reprogramming your mind is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice, a lifetime commitment to mental excellence. Just as you must maintain your physical health with daily exercise and proper nutrition, you must maintain your mental health with daily affirmations and proper mental nutrition. The old programming didn't develop overnight, and the new programming won't install overnight. But with consistent daily effort, with emotional conviction, with protective boundaries around your mental environment, you can completely transform the operating system of your consciousness. 6 months from now, you can have a completely different relationship with yourself and your possibilities. 1 year from now, you can have a completely different life. But it starts today, with the first new thought you choose to think, the first new belief you choose to install, the first new program you choose to run. Your mind is waiting for your instructions. What will you choose to install? Number 6, thinking, speaking, and acting in faith. Faith without action is not faith at all. It's wishful thinking dressed up in spiritual clothing. True faith expresses itself through every dimension of your being. It transforms how you think, how you speak, and how you act. It becomes a complete way of living, not just an occasional way of hoping. Most people think faith is something you feel, but feeling follows thinking, speaking, and acting. When you think, speak, and act in faith consistently, the feeling of faith becomes your natural state. You don't wait to feel faithful before you act faithfully. You act faithfully until feeling faithful becomes automatic. Thinking in faith means replacing the automatic thoughts of fear with deliberate thoughts of victory. When your mind says you can't do something, faith thinking says you're learning how to do it. When your mind says this is impossible, faith thinking says this is going to require everything you've got, and you've got everything it's going to require. Your thoughts are not neutral. They're either building your faith or destroying it. They're either moving you toward your goals or away from them. They're either opening possibilities or closing them. Every thought is a choice. and every choice has consequences. When you catch yourself thinking thoughts of limitation, don't condemn yourself. Simply redirect. Don't try to stop negative thoughts. Replace them with powerful thoughts. The mind cannot hold two contradictory thoughts at the same time. When you fill it with thoughts of faith, there's no room for thoughts of fear. But thinking in faith is only the beginning. Your words have creative power. What you speak consistently, you create eventually. Your words don't just describe your reality, they shape your reality. They don't just reflect your beliefs, they form your beliefs. When you speak words of faith, you're not lying to yourself. You're speaking your future into existence. When you declare, "I am successful" before you feel successful, you're not being dishonest. You're being prophetic. You're announcing what is coming before it arrives. Listen to how successful people talk about themselves and their futures. They don't say, "I hope this works out." They say, "This is going to be amazing." They don't say, "I'll try my best." They say, "I will make this happen." They don't speak their current circumstances. They speak their intended destinations. Your words are seeds. Whatever you speak repeatedly, you will eventually harvest. If you speak words of struggle, you will harvest struggle. If you speak words of lack, you will harvest lack. If you speak words of defeat, you will harvest defeat. But if you speak words of victory, abundance, and success, those are the crops that will grow in your life. Stop speaking your problems and start speaking your solutions. Stop describing your obstacles and start declaring your breakthroughs. Stop talking about what's wrong and start talking about what's possible. But here's where most people stumble. They think and speak in faith for a few minutes, then live in fear for the rest of the day. They declare victory in the morning and prepare for defeat by afternoon. They speak success with their mouths while preparing for failure with their actions. Faith without corresponding action is dead. You cannot think and speak your way into a new life without taking the actions that match your new thinking and speaking. You must move your body in the direction of your faith. Acting in faith means taking steps before you see the staircase. It means making moves before you see the entire strategy. It means committing before you're comfortable, starting before you're ready, and believing before you see evidence. When Noah built the ark, there were no storm clouds in the sky. When Moses lifted his staff, the Red Sea was still a wall of water. When David picked up his stones, Goliath was still standing. They acted on faith, not on sight. Your actions communicate to your subconscious mind what you truly believe. If you say you believe in your success but you don't prepare for it, your subconscious gets the message that you don't really believe. If you declare you're ready for opportunity but you don't develop your skills, your subconscious concludes that you're not serious about your declarations. But when your actions align with your faith, when your behavior matches your beliefs, when your steps support your statements, something powerful happens. Your entire being comes into alignment. Your conscious and subconscious minds work together instead of against each other. Small faith actions create big faith results. You don't need to take massive action to prove your faith. You just need to take consistent action. Make one phone call, send one email, read one chapter. Take one step. Faith grows through movement, not through meditation. Each action you take in faith makes the next action easier. Each step you take in belief makes the next step clearer. Each move you make in alignment with your goals attracts resources, people, and opportunities that support your progress. The person who thinks, speaks, and acts in faith becomes a magnet for miracles, not because they're special, but because they've aligned every dimension of their being with their desired outcome. They become a clear channel through which their dreams can flow into reality. Your thoughts, words, and actions are either working together to create the life you want, or they're working against each other to create confusion and frustration. When you bring them into alignment with faith, you become an unstoppable force of creation. Think it, speak it, do it. This is the formula of faith in action. This is how you transform from someone who wishes into someone who achieves. This is how you become the person your dreams require you to be. Number 7, gratitude as a faith amplifier. There is a secret weapon in the arsenal of faith that most people completely overlook. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, it requires no special training or unique talent. Yet it has the power to transform your entire relationship with reality and accelerate the manifestation of your dreams beyond anything you've ever experienced. This weapon is gratitude. Not the polite thank you that you offer when someone does something nice for you, not the obligatory appreciation you express on holidays. I'm talking about gratitude as a spiritual technology, a psychological amplifier, a faith multiplier that can revolutionize your life. Most people have gratitude backwards. They wait until something good happens, then they feel grateful. They wait until they receive the blessing, then they offer thanks. They wait until they see the evidence, then they express appreciation. This is gratitude as a response, but true gratitude is gratitude as a catalyst. When you give thanks before you receive, when you express appreciation before you see evidence, when you feel grateful before your situation changes, you're not being naive, you're being prophetic. You're activating one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Gratitude is faith in action. When you thank the universe for blessings that haven't appeared yet, you're declaring your absolute confidence that they're already on their way. You're living in the reality of their arrival before they arrive. You're aligning your energy with receiving before you receive. Think about how you feel when someone thanks you for something you haven't done yet. Their gratitude inspires you to live up to their expectations. Their appreciation motivates you to become worthy of their thanks. Their faith in you brings out the best in you. The same principle applies to your relationship with life itself. When you express gratitude for the success you haven't achieved yet, you inspire the universe to live up to your expectations. When you appreciate the abundance you haven't received yet, you motivate reality to become worthy of your thanks. When you have faith in your blessings before they arrive, you bring out the best in existence itself. This isn't mystical thinking. This is psychological science. Gratitude rewires your brain. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's possible. It changes your mental frequency from lack to abundance. It transforms your emotional state from anxiety to peace. When you're grateful, you cannot simultaneously be fearful. When you're appreciative, you cannot simultaneously be doubtful. When you're thankful, you cannot simultaneously be hopeless. Gratitude and faith are spiritual allies. They strengthen each other. They amplify each other. They multiply each other's effects. But here's what most people don't understand about gratitude. It's not just about feeling good, although it does make you feel amazing. It's not just about being positive, although it does shift your energy dramatically. Gratitude is about training your mind to expect good things, to look for blessings, to notice abundance everywhere. Your mind is constantly scanning your environment for evidence to support your existing beliefs. If you believe life is hard, you'll notice everything that proves life is hard. If you believe good things don't happen to people like you, you'll focus on every disappointment and overlook every blessing. But when you practice gratitude consistently, you train your mind to look for things to appreciate. You condition your awareness to notice abundance. You program your consciousness to expect blessings. And what you expect, you attract. What you look for, you find. What you appreciate, appreciates. Start your day with gratitude before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you review your fears. Thank the universe for the day before it unfolds. Express appreciation for opportunities before they appear. Feel grateful for solutions before they arrive. End your day with gratitude after you've faced your challenges, after you've done your work, after you've moved toward your goals. Thank the universe for lessons learned, for progress made, for strength gained. Express appreciation for everything that happened, even the difficult things, because they're all contributing to your growth. Throughout the day, whenever you feel your faith weakening, whenever doubt creeps in, whenever fear starts to take hold, reach for gratitude like a life preserver. Thank the universe for your ability to dream. Express appreciation for your capacity to grow. Feel grateful for your power to choose. Gratitude for small things opens the door for big things. When you appreciate what you have, you create space for more. When you're thankful for where you are, you attract the energy to go where you want to be. When you express gratitude for who you are, you inspire yourself to become who you want to become. Don't wait until your dreams come true to be grateful. Be grateful now, and watch how your gratitude accelerates the arrival of your dreams. Don't wait until your life is perfect to express appreciation. Express appreciation now, and watch how your appreciation helps perfect your life. Gratitude is not just something you feel, it's something you practice. It's not just an emotion, it's a discipline. It's not just a response to good fortune. It's a magnet for good fortune. When you make gratitude your default response to life, when you make appreciation your automatic reaction to challenges, when you make thankfulness your natural state of being, you become a walking miracle magnet. Blessings don't just happen to you, they happen because of you. Your gratitude today is creating your abundance tomorrow. Your appreciation now is attracting your blessings later. Your thankfulness in this moment is multiplying your faith for every moment to come. Number 8, faith as the key to total life transformation. You have spent your entire life becoming who you are right now. Every belief you've accepted, every thought you've entertained, every word you've spoken, every action you've taken has contributed to the person staring back at you in the mirror. But here's the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. Who you are is not who you have to remain. Faith is not just a nice spiritual concept to make you feel better about your circumstances. Faith is the master key that unlocks total life transformation. It is the only force powerful enough to break the chains of your conditioning, shatter the ceiling of your limitations, and catapult you into a reality that matches your deepest desires rather than your past experiences. Every great achiever in history understood this truth. They didn't succeed because they had better circumstances. They succeeded because they had better beliefs. They didn't overcome obstacles because they were stronger. They overcame obstacles because they had unshakable faith in their ability to overcome. When Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, what kept him going? When Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before becoming president, what sustained him? When Oprah Winfrey rose from poverty and abuse to become one of the most influential people in the world, what transformed her? It wasn't luck, it wasn't talent, it wasn't connections. It was faith. Faith in their vision when no one else could see it. Faith in their abilities when everyone else doubted them. Faith in their destiny when all evidence suggested they should quit. They understood that victory begins inside, in the realm of belief, long before it manifests outside, in the realm of results. This is not theory. This is not motivation. This is the fundamental law of human transformation. You cannot rise higher than the level of your own belief. You cannot achieve more than what you're convinced is possible. You cannot become greater than what you have faith you can become. But here's what separates those who transform their lives from those who remain stuck. They understand that faith is not a feeling that comes and goes with their circumstances. Faith is a decision they make every single day, regardless of their circumstances. It's a choice they make when they wake up, when they face challenges, when they encounter setbacks, when they meet resistance. They choose to believe in their success when their bank account suggests failure. They choose to have faith in their future when their present seems hopeless. They choose to trust in their abilities when their track record suggests inadequacy. This is not denial. This is transformation in progress. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of your deepest beliefs about yourself and what's possible for someone like you. If you want different results, you must develop different beliefs. If you want a different future, you must have different faith. If you want a different life, you must become a different person. And that transformation begins the moment you decide that your past does not define your future. The moment you choose to believe that what happened to you is less important than what happens through you. The moment you have faith that your greatest days are ahead of you, not behind you. This is your moment of decision. You can continue living in the prison of your past programming, accepting the limitations that others have placed on you, settling for the scraps of possibility that your old beliefs allow. Or you can step into the unlimited potential that faith unlocks. You can continue being someone who hopes things will get better someday, or you can become someone who makes things better starting today. You can continue being someone who wishes they had more courage, or you can become someone who acts with courage despite their fear. You can continue being someone who dreams small because it feels safer, or you can become someone who dreams big because they believe in their power to achieve those dreams. Faith is not passive. Faith is active. Faith doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect. Faith creates perfect conditions. Faith doesn't hope for transformation. Faith is transformation. When you truly understand this, when you fully embrace this, when you completely embody this, everything changes. Your relationships change because you relate to people from a place of strength rather than need. Your career changes because you approach opportunities from a place of confidence rather than desperation. Your health changes because you take care of your body from a place of love rather than fear. Your entire reality reorganizes itself around your new level of faith. The universe conspires to support your new beliefs. Opportunities appear that match your elevated expectations. People enter your life who resonate with your upgraded energy. Resources flow toward you that align with your expanded vision. This is not magical thinking. This is spiritual law. This is psychological principle. This is the way transformation works when you work with faith instead of against it. Your faith creates your future, not your circumstances, not your background, not your education, not your connections, your faith. What you believe with unwavering conviction becomes your lived experience. Right now, in this very moment, you're making a choice. You're choosing what to believe about yourself, about your possibilities, about your future. That choice is creating your tomorrow. That belief is building your destiny. That faith is forming your reality. Choose to believe in yourself with the same intensity you once believed in your limitations. Have faith in your possibilities with the same conviction you once had in your problems. Trust in your power with the same certainty you once trusted in your powerlessness. Your transformation starts now. Your new life begins today. Your faith is the key. Turn it. There is a river that flows through every human life. Most people never see this river because they're too busy looking at the stones on the shore, counting their problems, measuring their limitations, cataloging their fears. But this river is always there, always flowing, always ready to carry you toward the life you were meant to live. This river is your faith in motion. It doesn't ask for your permission to flow. It doesn't wait for your circumstances to improve. It doesn't require your understanding to operate. It simply flows, carrying with it every thought you think with conviction, every word you speak with certainty, every action you take with courage. Right now, as these words settle into your consciousness, that river is responding to the new currents you've created. The beliefs you've planted, the doubts you've released, the gratitude you've embraced, the faith you've chosen to activate. All of it is moving through the invisible streams of your being, reshaping the landscape of your future. You are no longer the same person who began this journey of understanding. Something fundamental has shifted in the depths of your awareness. You've awakened to the truth that has always been there, waiting for your recognition. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are its active creator. The path ahead will continue to reveal itself as you walk it. Each step taken in faith illuminates the next step. Each choice made in belief opens doors you couldn't see before. Each moment lived in gratitude multiplies the abundance flowing toward you. If you're ready to keep walking this path of conscious creation, to keep deepening this understanding of your true power, make sure you're connected to this community of believers and achievers by subscribing. Because this journey of faith doesn't end here. It expands here. Your faith is writing the story of your life in every moment. The pen is in your hand and the page is always ready for your next inspired word.